Hi, my name's Shane Dowling and welcome to my website kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. Today it's just a short video overview of my posting on Justice Berna Collier, the Federal Court of Australia. The title of the posting is Justice Berna Collier, the frivolous and vexatious litigant. Now how that came about is that Justice Berna Collier and her husband Alan, who's also a qualified lawyer, sued their neighbour in relation to home extensions that their neighbour were doing. They won the original case, but then they took it further. They appealed the original judgment, from my understanding, because they were seeking further orders. But they lost that and they were found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant. In relation to Alan, well, that's his problem, but in relation to Justice Berna Collier, she's a federal court judge. Now, the Australian public are meant to have full confidence in the Australian judicial system. How can you when one of the judges has been found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant and is still hearing cases and handing down judgments? Now, a frivolous and vexatious litigant is basically the low of the low in legal terms. They're either someone with no clue of the law, maybe a self-represented litigant who's not a qualified lawyer, or someone who's abusing the legal processes. Once that happened, once she was found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant, she really had an obligation, especially if you had any self-respect, to resign. Failing that, the government really had an obligation to step in and sack her. Now that hasn't happened, so while she continues there and continues to hand down judgments, it really makes a joke of the whole system. Then you've got also the problems in relation to if she's hearing a case and either the respondent or the applicant loses the case, they've automatically got grounds for appeal, because the first ground you want to put is that the judge was found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant and she's an idiot. Now the appeal court, the three judges, are going to have no option but to uphold that appeal because they're the facts of the matter, and then it'll be sent back to another judge for a rehearing. That's a waste of taxpayers' money. You also got the situation where the respondent or the applicant in a case before her can ask her to stand down on the basis that she has been found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant. She's got no clue about the law, especially a self-represented litigant. A self-represented litigant could stand there and say, look, Your Honour, I'd like you to stand down from hearing the case. And if she's asked you why, well, you just basically tell her straight. Your Honour, you've been found to be a frivolous and vexatious litigant. You've got no clue, no idea, no concept of the law. You're a total and utter idiot. Now, she mightn't like you putting it in those terms, but there's not much she can do. She can't charge you with contempt of court because they're the facts. Now if she refuses to stand down, you can automatically appeal that. Then it's wasting more taxpayers' money. And if she does stand down, once again it's really a waste of taxpayers' money because it goes back to the registry and they just allocate another judge. Now for the government to stand there and do nothing is an absolute disgrace. It raises those two key issues that I do in my About page on the website. Number one is that how did she get appointed in the first place? Rumour mill says that she's a good friend of the wife of Philip Ruddock, who was Attorney General at the time she got appointed, and he appointed her. Now, being a good friend of the wife of the Attorney General today is hardly grounds for being appointed a judge, but in Australia apparently it is. If that's not the basis of how and why she was appointed, I'd like to know why. If there had to been an open process and a public process, we would all know what her suitability was for the role, what her qualifications were. They'd be on public record. Number two, it comes down to the judicial complaints process. There is none in here in Australia, at least federally, and someone should be making a complaint to the judicial complaints body, and maybe up to them to remove her. So that's the story on there. There's some links there to various stories from various journalists. It's quite an interesting story, I find myself anyhow, the fact that she's still operating as a judge. During other postings you'll find similar stories there where the judges just shouldn't be judges. How they got appointed, how they're still managing to be a judge, who knows. It's quite disgraceful. I hope you enjoyed my site. Thank you for your time and have a good day.